with stuff. I think I should have finished my stuff and just done this.
We're just waiting. Okay, boy, it went live fast tonight. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's see if we can kiss it.
Bring the.
Hold on. Where's my word at? I ain't got no glasses on. I have to do this without glasses.
I can do it. You don't trust me.
I'm getting there. Just give me a long. I'm having to hunt these little icons up and move things around. I'm just going off of memory, not eyesight.
The blind leading the blind.
There we go. Now, you got it now. It's all yours, like horse feet. Okay.
Don't start.
Oh, if I get her laughing to start with, I know I got her, guys.
Yeah, it's been kind of a weird couple hours, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm nibbling on stuff because...
Yeah, we ain't had no supper. Yeah, we have.
We did.
Wow, did we?
We were in the middle of supper.
Oh, we were in the middle of supper when something happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, do you want...
Look at that. We already... Okay, we're back.
Okay, even though we may not know what they are.
Yeah. But, let's just wait. Let's give it a minute. Let's just give it a minute. Before we actually do anything. Give them time. Okay, now they're saying we're back. Okay. Okay, Father, we thank you, Lord, for the day you've given us now. And Father, we want to stop and take an opportunity. We want to pray for our country. It's not good right now, Lord. We just pray for our current president, and we pray for our past president, Lord, because we know right now that there is a mark on both of them. And actually, there's a mark on several other people that we know of. And Lord, we're praying for all of them right now, that you'll put your protective hand over all of them and protect them. And we know that we probably haven't heard everything that transpired this afternoon. There'll be things that they'll let come out gradually. We don't know the extent of Mr. Trump's wounds yet. We know what they've allowed us to know, but it could be even more extensive than what we were told. And for the families of those that lost loved ones during this, Lord, those that have wounded or critically wounded, we pray for them and their families also, Father. And Lord, we got lots of people that's going to be in the chat tonight that's got issues of their own. We want to ask that you help them to meet their needs, Lord, and help them to be able to be content. I pray for peace for all of us tonight, Lord, as we lay down and go to bed. There's things going to happen, Father, and ain't nothing we can do about it. All we got to do is just keep our faith in you and get our eyes off mankind, Father. So give us all peace, give us discernment, help us to be able to find your will for our lives now that the things that's begun has begun, because we know it's not over now. It's just the beginning, Father. So we love you, we appreciate you, and ask that you do go with the chat tonight. Help us to have a good chat, and help us to be able to honor you and glorify you tonight. We ask this in Christ's name. Amen. All right. Now, where shall we begin?
At the beginning.
Oh, man.
What is the beginning?
I don't even know what the beginning is. Hey, Pastor Donnie. You know, I don't know. It's going to be a very challenging week this week, because you guys know that the gatekeepers are going to only let us know through the TV. Now, we don't have a TV. We don't watch TV.
No,
we're oblivious to TV.
Totally dependent on a computer.
But we know that the gatekeepers are going to they're going to monitor everything that we hear from this point forward. So be cautious, guys, about what you hear, and be cautious about what you believe, because a lot of what you see and you hear is not going to be the truth. The bottom line is there's been a ton of money dumped into some accounts to cause harm upon this country, and it could be one of 1,000 different people who try to do this kind of harm to our country. There is an agenda. I'm just going to go ahead and lay it all out on the table tonight. There's an agenda to take the power out in the United States right now. And they're not going to stop. So let's just leave it at that. And let's enjoy our chat tonight. And let's try to focus on the positive things and not on the negative things tonight. Because for the next week, this is all we're going to hear, plus the other things that's going to happen this coming week. So let's just try not to get hung up on one particular thing, guys.
Somebody, Lori in Indiana, said that her Danny corn is tossling. It's very tall. Can't wait for harvest. You want to talk a little bit about ours? We ain't done a video yet.
We're going to do a video. If we
have any corn left.
Guys, we have so many. We've been fighting critters so bad, it ain't even funny.
We thought we had a reprieve.
I thought that I had them all out. But I went this morning and I had another one come last night again. And when you live as rural as we're at, well.
Now maybe.
Isn't that crazy?
You said the word irrad.
Irrad?
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
You gotta watch what you say.
You gotta watch what I say.
Especially after today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
there's Suzanne slipping in here undercover.
Yeah, we put her to work, didn't we?
Yeah, we had Miss Suzanne working today, or she's working hard now. She's doing a good job too.
She is, and she'll just continue to do it because I done told her I don't want to.
Yep.
And if y'all don't know what we're talking about, she's painting.
She's doing some painting for us. We
have one house under construction and one house under remodel.
Yeah.
So, and Miss Suzanne's doing some painting, and she's doing a fine job. That keeps me from having to do it. It keeps Danny from having to do it.
Jan is, with my knowledge, the broadleaf mustard really only deters the nematodes. I don't think it does much for the cutworms, to be honest with you. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Let's see. I gotta put some glasses on here. I can't see diddly squat. Okay. Let me see here.
Why are half my corn plants tossing with no sign of corn anywhere on the stalks?
Old Dominion Homestead, that is very common. I mean, corn tossles before it puts ears on. It'll do it about 3 to 4 days before it starts putting a little silks out coming up from the ears.
Because ours actually done that, because I looked at Danny.
Yeah.
I said, we've got tossles and no corn. He said, give it time. Give it time. I'm like,
yeah.
I thought the corn came and then it tousled.
Rusty Cuz says, why are Cherokee tan seeds so hard to find? Because nobody believes in the Cherokee tan. Now, the Seminole pumpkin is very, very, very close. It's a very close relative of the Cherokee tan. If you can't get the Cherokee tans, the Seminole is the next best thing. As a matter of fact, they're probably brothers and sisters from the same mother plant, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we've had both, and we've tested both, and there's a slight difference in taste.
Slight difference, and shape.
And shape. But basically, if you didn't know and you just walked in a field of both, you'd probably think it was about the same thing.
Cindy at Simply Backwoods says, Danny, is there any place to order bare root pecan trees? I'd really like to start some trees. There is a company called Bass Pecan Company. I think they're in Georgia now. They used to be here where we're at, but I think they've moved further north and east because of the hurricanes are so bad here. They shut down most of their facilities here, but Bass Pecan Company used to be a really good place that you could get. And now, first of all, let me say you're not going to get a bare root pecan tree. They don't make bare root pecan trees. Pecan trees have a very long taproot, and they're grown in a very deep container. You can get 4-foot trees, 3-foot trees, 5-foot trees. I bought 10-foot trees when I bought. But you pay for them. You know, the bigger the tree, the more you pay for it. But you can.
All right, Miss Paula Rizzo is in the hospital in Monroe, Louisiana. She thought she had the flu or something, pneumonia, but she's fixing to have a double heart bypass scheduled for the 19th. So we need to remember Miss Paula.
Yeah.
She's been with us a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, probably almost since we started, she's been one of our subscribers. So y'all keep Miss Paula in your prayers.
Tambra, I've had the same exact problems. I planted a bunch of Cherokee tans up here in my Danny corn, and the squash bugs got most of them, but there is some that's come back now. Believe it or not, they've come back, and they're just now starting to run through the cornfield. Who would have thought? Wanda and I had this happen a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Our Cherokee tans sit there all summer and done absolutely
And they
nothing.
came up from those. You talking about those behind the house?
Yeah, behind the house back
came
there.
up at-
Volunteers, and they didn't put on pumpkins until the fall. So
They just sat there and
Yeah.
just kept growing, and they went all over the yard. We didn't mess with them. We just left them to see what happened. And they did put on, but it was late. Okay, my crooked little homestead says she saw your video on the new pecan cracker.
yeah, that thing. I've done cracked. How many quarts have we got in it? We got probably have a gallon of shelled pecans so far, huh?
Or more.
Or more. Yeah.
You've done at least 4 or 5 quarts, maybe 6. I don't know. I didn't count. I know you've done several.
Yeah.
The problem is he has to sit and go through them, which is not too bad because it
No.
cracks them pretty good.
It cracks them pretty good.
You know, a lot of people were saying how much it was. We ordered from a third party. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Somewhere
out
in
of
California.
California.
Somewhere out of
I
California.
didn't even know it was coming from Alabama. I
Yeah.
only found it on this website in California, and I ordered it, and I think we only paid,
We paid $4.99 for it.
was it, and with the foot pedal?
With the foot pedal was an additional
Yeah.
$30-something. It would originally been $64, but because we bought them together,
We got a discount.
we got a discount on it. Yeah.
And I'd have to look for the website that I even actually bought it from. But Danny found it later on Amazon after we bought it. But a lot of people were saying $600 is a lot of money. And it is if you've only got a handful of pecans. You don't
Yeah.
want to deal with it. But Danny has, what, 200?
I probably got
300
I
pounds?
probably got 300 or 400 pounds right now. Plus the trees here are loaded if we
Yeah.
don't have nothing happen this year.
And it's
so,
hard to do that many pounds with his daddy's
Yeah.
thing. He's been doing it. It takes him about a year.
Right.
So he decided he wanted something, but we just didn't want the big commercial things, and they're like 5, 6, 7,000. You know,
Oh.
600's a lot cheaper than 1,000,
Yeah.
and it keeps him happy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper than several $1,000s.
Yeah,
Um.
and it's not for everybody, but we did put a link to the Amazon one, and if I find the website that I bought it from, somebody wants to order through there, but they're actually ordering third party if you do that. Which I guess Amazon's a third party. Technically.
Yeah.
You're not ordering from the person. If I knew who to contact, actually got a number, I could contact the actual person. All right.
Evil Hugger says my thumb hurts from watching that video. Yeah.
Danny hadn't mashed his thumb
I
yet.
ain't mashed my thumb.
It's gonna be something nice. He's looking for something to do in the heat of the day.
Yeah, because it's
And,
guys, it is so honestly, it was 110 heat index today, and it was cloudy. Now, if it had been sunny, there ain't no telling what it would have been. You know, so it was bad. And during the middle of the day like this, I can go out to the prepper shack, and I can sit in there under the AC and the ceiling fan and stay cool enough. It's not cold, but it stays cool enough that I can actually work out there.
Yeah, Miss Bonnie wants to know, would you consider selling pecans in the shell? And not at this moment, until we know how many pecans would be on the trees and stuff like that. But now, if we had lots of pecans, yeah, somebody's
Yeah,
gonna
we
be
had-
selling some.
Yeah, we had a lot of them. I'm probably going to be looking at a product called Bag-O-Nut. You roll it behind a lawnmower, or you can push it by hand, and it picks the pecans up off the ground and puts them in these baskets for you. If we get to having too many pecans, I'll probably have to invest in one of them.
Yeah, but it'll be. I mean, last year we didn't have a lot of pecans. Danny picked up a few, but we had just cleaned the trees. We'd just gotten all the bushes and shrubs and other trees away from them. So it did. We didn't have a harvest like we thought. And this year we weren't sure which trees would even make. So Danny's having to physically put eyes on every tree.
Probably what I'm going to do is every tree that has pecans on it, I'm going to go and tie a ribbon up high enough that the cows can't get to it. And that way I'm going to keep them trees mowed and took care of underneath them.
And try and keep the squirrels out.
Yeah.
That was one thing. Let's see. Yeah. John says, I used to buy an overstuffed grocery bag full of pecans from my neighbor for $5. Well, you got a deal.
You got a deal. You got a really, really good deal.
Oh, and Mr. Jerry let us know what the name of those white peaches were.
Oh, what did he call them?
Belle of Georgia.
Oh, Belle of Georgia. Yes, that was the white peaches y'all saw us get from Mr. Jerry. Yeah, he called and told us they were called Belle of Georgia.
And he said that you can find them online. I think he said they're around $50 a tree. He didn't tell me where online, but look up Belle of Georgia. And he said it was a very old, he had told us it was an old variety.
Yeah, his family's had them for 60 years.
And they actually date back to the 1700s. So it's pretty cool knowing that we have Yeah. Danny's got seeds.
I got seeds anyway. Mandy Summerall says, Danny, could you go over how to overwinter pepper plants? What Wanda and I do is at the end of the season before frost hits, we take our snippers out and we snip the plants back about halfway down and we cover them up with a blanket.
If it's going to get cold.
Yeah, if it's going to get cold, we put a blanket over them and put them in total darkness. And we leave it there all through the cold, cold weather. And a lot of times we'll put leaves up around them or something, a straw or something up there around them also, and then put the blanket over them. And then when it warms up in the spring, we take that blanket back off. And periodically we'll put a little water to them. Not much, just a little bit. And in the spring, they usually sprout and come right back.
Somebody wants to know, why can't you can white peaches? I canned white peaches.
We did can
them. Now, they're not firm like the others, and they do make a better jam than but I just sliced them in quarters and put them in a light syrup, cooked them just 4 or 5 minutes, and then put them in the jar and then processed them in a water bath canner. And I'm sure when we open them up, they're going to be soft and mushy, but they'll eat just fine because the taste is there. And I did do some jam.
Yeah.
I did a few jars of jam.
Yeah. D. McCoy is wanting to know, is there anything else she can do besides spraying milk solution to kill the aphids without using any kind of poison? Really, I mean, I don't know. You might want to read up on BT, Bacillus thuringiensis. It's for soft-bodied insects like worms and caterpillars and stuff like that. And an aphid is a soft-bodied insect, and if it's so, then you could either use spinosad. If that works, I would check the label to see if it covers aphids, and I would also check the Bacillus thuringiensis or BT and see if it works.
All right, Susquehanna, I may not be butchering that, but Susquehanna Homestead said, what company makes the electronic deer scare that we have? I'm not sure the name of the company, but if you'll go back to some of the videos where we've showed it, it's in the description and it should be in a pinned comment. It's an odd name, so I couldn't tell you.
It took me a while to find them, so I can't tell you. I looked at about 1,000 different things before I found them.
Yeah, so...
Jennifer Fulco says, fruit trees, have you ever used cannelin clay? Cannelin clay is one of the organic things that they allow you to use if you're organically certified. I know all about it, but I never have in our climate down here, I never have used it because we're so humid and it rains so much down here usually till it would be useless for me to try it. It's like saying I'm going to use DE. You know, DE is good in dry, arid climates, but when you get down here where it's 100% humidity all the time, it stays too damp to be any good.
Miss Paula Rizzo said she found some white peaches in the grocery store. My answer to why would be they taste too good fresh. She said I'd eat every single one fresh. Danny and I would have too. Only we had 3 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, we had 3 5-gallon buckets of them.
And they don't hold for
Yeah.
long periods of time. So within 3 to 4 days, I had to have them all canned. And but good, we eat a lot fresh.
Yeah.
It was good.
Kyra says, any solution to rid moles in the garden? There's actually 2 different things. There's a product called Mole Away. It's made from castor beans. And then there is a mole trap. I actually have one of them that you...
It ain't worked yet.
Well, I haven't spent a lot of time with it, to be honest. But I did kill a mole the other day. If you was on our Patreon channel, you'd see where I killed a mole.
You have to stomp them.
You have to stomp them to death. You have to be an old man and take off running and jump a long way through the air and land on them with your heels.
I wish I'd have been out there, y'all.
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, there's a mole trap, and then there's a product called Mole Away. Some people use like juicy fruit chewing gum and stuff like that and stuff it down in the holes and claim that it works. I don't have that kind of time, you know, so I just run and jump on them.
I was dying out laughing. He says, you got to come see this. I said, what? And I go out there and I said, a rat? I said, what are you doing with a rat? And he said, no, that's a mole.
That's a mole. He ain't got no eyes.
I didn't see anything other than the furry body and the long tail and it. And
He don't have a long tail. He has really short,
well, I mean, it was a tail. Yeah. And then I didn't see the weird feet or the no eyes thing till he started pointing it out. It was, he says, guess how I killed it?
I did. I actually took off running. You have to excuse what I'm fixing to say, but I had stopped out in the edge of the yard out there to go to the bathroom, and while I was standing there, I kept looking across the yard, and I kept seeing the ground popping up like this, just going across the yard, popping up. I said, there is a mole going across my yard, and I know they can hear your feet on the ground if you start walking toward them. So I said, I only have one chance. I'm going to have to run and take long steps and jump through the air and land on him. And that's exactly what I did, and I was very successful.
Yo, if I could just follow him around all day long with a camera and him not know I'm there, ain't no telling what y'all would see. Miss Sylvia, the name of the YouTube channel where his wife's name is D. Wait, where am I at?
I don't know. I don't even know where you're reading from.
Miss Sylvia. Well, let me find it right here. B. It's B. Is Life Done Free. That's tag and B. Life Done Free. All right. Did you think about freeze drying in the peaches? No, because we're in between two places, and freeze drying right now is not in my vocabulary.
Yeah, it's just
it's not doable yet.
We're working like bees in a beehive right now.
Y'all knew what all we was doing. Y'all would just.
If you saw what we go through every day, you would look at us and go, "You are 2 old fools."
Probably.
I know they would.
I actually got out first thing this morning and weed eated till the battery went dead, because I was about dead too.
Yeah.
I time my weed eating when the battery goes dead. My time's up too.
Yeah.
And I weeded a little bit last night. Well, I'm in between. I was rearranging stuff. That's what I'm doing. And I've got a lot of rearranging and redoing and.
Okay. Shane wants to know, so I dug sweet potatoes today, going to let them sit a week or so. Does it matter if they're touching? Someone told me it did. Shane, if you can put some pine straw down and put them on the pine straw and then put another layer of pine straw and lay some sweet potatoes on them and put another layer of pine straw and put some sweet potatoes on them, it's okay to do it that way. But it is best if you don't let them just lay straight on top of one another. You know, I mean, they really need to not be on top of each other if you can help it.
Okay.
Now, I have put them underground and stacked them in pine straw that way underground, and they last all year. But as a rule of thumb, it's better not to have them touching each other.
Okay. Did anyone else freeze? Oh, yeah, we freeze up every now and then. That's just the beauty of the internet. This, especially tonight, after what happened, everything's been. Mine was popping and freezing really bad before we came on.
All right, here, hold on here a minute. Here. Ms. Ann Nelson says the ball canning book says you cannot can white peaches because they are lower in acidity than the yellow one. I have a white peach tree and freeze dry them. Well,
I added lemon juice.
We add lemon juice to ours, which brings the acidity level back up. Plus, we put sugar in them.
Yeah.
And that sugar is a preservative within itself. So between the lemon juice or the citric acid that we use and the sugar from the peaches, we don't have anything to worry about. I always tell people to stick with what the book says because I can't give advice on here and without getting in trouble. But there are exceptions to the rules.
Yeah, they'll make good jams anyway.
Yeah,
they can make jams if you want. That's what I said
jams.
earlier. Lippy says she takes the water hose and fills the mole hole up, and they run out on the ground, and you can catch them.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, she said get them. I ain't catching them.
That's just Lippy talk when it says get them.
Get them.
Yeah, it's like Larry the Cable Guy. Get her done.
No, Lippy is one of them. She was getting her some mice out of that chicken pen too. She was having her field day with them things.
Sheila 80s says, do y'all have a video on saving bell pepper seeds? We do on Deepsouth Homestead. We've saved pepper seeds over there.
I don't know.
It's somewhere on this.
I've got a seed saving video.
Out of these 3,000 something videos, there's a video there somewhere.
There's a playlist on Deepsouth that says saving seeds or seed saving or something like that. Click on it and all the seeds that Danny showed how to save. It's a whole playlist. Go watch the whole playlist or something. Y'all could help out. That'd help. Where are we at?
I don't know. I just clicked it.
She said not catch them.
Yeah.
I read it wrong. Put a rag of ammonia in the hole. Ooh, that would be pretty tough. All right.
Jesus says, anyone have advice on where and how to start a chicken flock? Feed store, hatching eggs, or whatever to start? To be honest with you, if you could find someone who raises chickens to sell and buy like 5 or 6 month old pullets, you would be a lot happier than you would starting off with biddies, because biddies die on you real easy, and then they get disease and die. It's a whole lot better. Plus, it's expensive. It's better to let somebody else do that for you. Wanda and I found out that lots of times that's the best route for us to go. Now, we have raised our biddies out at Pecan Grove. We got the little ISA Browns, and they're doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. But you have to wait like 6 months before they lay an egg. So, it can get to be expensive while you're waiting.
I do want to mention something because we have quite a few YouTube channels that pop in and out and listen. There's a YouTube channel called Rose Homestead. She had her channel just went away, all her content in the last few days. She lost, I think she's up to 63,000 subscribers, and she went down to 0. She lost everything by opening an email. She was dealing with what she thought was a legitimate product.
Rose Red.
No, not Rose Red.
That's what they're saying, Rose Red Homestead.
No, it was not Rose Red. This is another lady. It's called Rose Homestead.
Okay.
It doesn't have red in it. Rose
Everybody
Homestead.
else, that's what everybody's saying.
No, this was another lady. I want to say her name was Mary, but I can't remember. You type in Rose Homestead. Don't put the word red. Rose Homestead.
Yeah, Beth says no, just Rose.
Just Rose.
Yeah.
she lost her subscribers because she thought she was dealing with a legitimate product. She gave them all the information they asked for, and when she opened the email and went to open the product agreement, that it wiped her stuff out. There's hackers out there everywhere. So be very, very vigilant. Check out companies before you do anything. I've got to where I don't even open emails most of the time. Danny can tell you, we get product review requests out the wazoo. And I just delete. I don't even open them unless it's something that Danny and I would even consider. And I bet in the last year I've deleted 5,000 or more. I'm telling you, a lot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, her name is Mary, yes.
I thought it was Mary.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, what else have we got going on here? I mean,
Elizabeth says she has little white spitballs all over the apple tree. What is that?
It's called a spittle bug. S-P-I-T-T-L-E bug. You can look it up online. Google spittle bug. It'll give you all the information about them. We have them down here where we live at. You'll see it looks like somebody just spit all over everything, but it's called a spittle bug.
Okay. Sheila asked. She saw my old canning squash video. How do you use it? You can use it in down here we use what's called squash casserole. So you can just open the jar and drain the juice and put it in your squash casserole. It's got cornbread and stuffed eggs. I don't remember what all's in the squash casserole. Kind of like dressing.
Yeah.
Our dressing. And then I used them in hush puppies. I would drain them and mix them in with my hush puppy mix. Anything you would use drained down squash. I even made was it a pie or a cake? I can't remember.
It was a I want to say
you'll have to look on CRAZY
I think
Days.
it was a pie.
I think it was a squash pie.
I think it was a pie.
And it was really good. I was shocked. What else did I use it for? I learned it's very mushy, so I haven't canned any squash.
Squash puppies.
Well, I said squash puppies.
Made squash puppies. You made the
squash casserole. You can put it in soups. I put it in a lot of soups.
Sometimes it's better if you can squeeze the juice out of them, right?
Yeah, I always take the juice out. You don't leave the juice. Soups, just as a filler or a thickener, great for soups.
Darlene says, Danny, are you about done fencing at Pecan Grove? Darlene, I wished I was, but I'm not. I'm a long way from being finished.
All right, now this one was.
I have a lack of funds, and fencing is very expensive.
We've got too much going on right now, and he's fencing a little spot.
I fence off little places at a time.
We're going to show some things in the grass and the fencing this week when we talk
hopefully.
What were we going to talk about? Fencing and grass and.
Well, I went through and cut the tops off the grass, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going to show some of that.
We're going to show y'all a video on how we're maintaining our hay fields and our paddocks and stuff like that.
All the cows and what we've got going on.
Yeah.
All right, now this one was early. Sue Ann said, I have one pear tree that has produced years ago. If I plant another pear tree, do you think it would produce again?
Well, it depends. If it needs a pollinator, and if the pear tree you're going to plant with it, if it's actually a pollinator for that tree, or sometimes pear trees are self-pollinating. They don't need other pear trees. It all depends on the variety of pear you got. Pear trees are very, very iffy a lot of times, especially if your climate turns off and you have early frosts and stuff like that. You can lose your whole pear crops. We lost ours last year. Didn't get hardly a bucket full of pears off of 3 trees.
And this year
we got 50 bucketfuls off of 3 trees.
We'd get a lot if the crows would stay out of it.
Yeah, if the crows would leave them alone.
Danny went out and he says, look at this. I'm like, what? And I saw them as they started flying.
Yep.
That's what, about 5?
At least 5 crows come out of the tree.
And he didn't have his gun in his hand, and by that time it's too bad you can't go back in and get it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Suzanne says it's a Bartlett. Well, you need to go online, look up what is a pollinator for a Bartlett pear, or is it self-pollinating? If it says it's self-pollinating, then another Bartlett planted close to it would help it to be more productive, but you just check the variety and see what it says is a good pollinator for it.
Now, Nope says they have pears about the size of softballs this year. My father-in-law, 30 years ago, had a tree in his backyard that made pears this big around. They wouldn't fit in a coffee can because he had the coffee can on a stick like Danny.
Yeah.
And when he'd go to get the pear, it would sit on top of the can. It was too big to even fit inside the can. And I wished I had a piece of that tree because that was some awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, they were awesome. What can I do about Japanese beetles? That's John.
Japanese beetles are very tough to control. I'm not going to lie to you. Aside from using some sort of chemical, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. Do you ever have to replace overall clips? If so, where do you order them from? That's 3B.
No, mine, I never have to replace them. I mean,
and if you got some older ones and you think
anytime
you
we get ready to throw
hang on to
when
them.
we get ready to throw away a pair of overalls, we take the clips out and put them in a drawer in there where my clothes is at. That way, should I bend one, lose one, come off,
or
whatever happens.
Sometimes these don't have it, do they? Some of them used to have a little piece right here that could be pulled.
Yeah.
That would pull off, but this one don't have it. So these are made a lot better.
Oh, let's see.
Somebody said liquid 7 dust kills Japanese beetles.
Yeah, it does. She's like us, didn't want to use any kind of chemicals. We don't believe in using chemicals on our stuff either. We believe in, there are other options out there. Because liquid 7 or the dust is carbaryl, and carbaryl is known to be carcinogenic. So we try not to use anything that's carcinogenic.
Yeah. Somebody says we use pyrethrin.
Pyrethrin. Yeah.
That's another.
Made from a flower.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard of it, but I just wasn't sure what.
I used to use it on my cattle and everything as insect control.
Lippy uses liquid Captain Jack's. See, I ordered some Captain Jack's, but I ordered powder, I think.
Yeah.
Do y'all have a use for pine cones? We got a bunch.
We've got about 100,000 of them laying right here around.
Anybody want to buy pine cones?
Yeah, we got
this
more
fall?
pine cones than we know what to do with.
I think I could sell pine cones.
Yeah.
I think I could bag up a bunch of pine cones. If y'all want to buy pine cones, y'all let me know.
Molly Smith says, we have to spray our apples. We are in a certified apple maggot area. They'd have a hard time making me spray my apple trees if I didn't want to. I can't help what they put apple orchards around me. It ain't my problem.
Everybody's offering. Yeah, Mr. Jones says, I have a longleaf pine if anybody needs any.
Yeah. We don't spray any of our trees for nothing. I mean, literally, I don't spray anything anywhere. And we harvest every year. I mean, it's...
And pine cones are a good fire starter.
Yes, pine cones makes a really good fire starter. Yeah. As long as they're dry. Now, when they're wet, you can't start them. You can't burn them for nothing hardly.
Yeah. They make good decorations around Thanksgiving and Christmas. People use them all the time in decorations.
Oh yeah, they're especially the little tiny ones, the little bitty ones. People use them in wreath arrangements, and then people take the big giant long leaf ones and make them into take crepe paper and stuff and make turkeys out of them and stuff like that with the kids.
And at Christmas they just spray paint them and sit them
hang
around.
them in the pine tree. In the Christmas trees.
There's all kinds of stuff you can do with pine cones, but Mr. Henderson says he does pine straw for fire starter. He bundles it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got plenty of pine straw too.
Yeah, Teresa says they dip their pine cones in melted wax and cinnamon and other spice mixes.
Yeah.
It makes great fire starters, especially around Christmas.
Yes. Do you have to buy plates for the tractor every year, or do you have no expiry? I don't know what that means.
Do you have to buy plates for tractor every year, or do you have no?
I think he's talking.
Are you talking about like a inspection or a tag or something to be able to use them? No, we don't have to buy anything here. This is agricultural. I can drive it on the highway if I want to. They can't do nothing to me.
Connie, I have never tried fried red tomatoes. That sounds like I'd be okay, but I've not ever even heard of it.
It's sweeter than the other one.
How do you start a pine tree from a pine cone? Asked our squirrels.
Pine cones, when a pine cone gets wet, it shrinks down. And when it gets dry, it opens up, and as it opens up, there's little tiny seeds in it that whirls around like a little whirly bird, and they fall out of the pine cone seed. That's the reason squirrels eat them. They look for that little seed in it, and it whirls to the ground and sprouts and makes a pine tree.
I think every pine cone we had has made a pine tree out in these woods.
I think so.
And every tongue nut has made a tongue nut tree, and anything out here has grown. Yopons, what is that, popcorn?
Yeah.
I ain't lying. We got more trees than we know what to do with. Pine nuts. I don't know how you would make pine nuts from that.
Well, actually, pine nuts.
It's not off this.
It's
this
not
type,
off this type
this
of tree.
type of pine tree.
Yeah.
Just saying. I was going to say it's not off this. All right. Do you know when to get seeds out of pine cones? How do you know when?
In the fall.
We have a mimosa tree at Pecan Grove. We have one at
We have one at Deepsouth, and we have one at Pecan Grove.
And at Deepsouth, I've noticed several.
Oh, there's mimosa trees everywhere.
We usually keep it underhand, but between two places, we've let a few get out of hand, and we found several up a foot or two high in places they should not be.
Joe Doe says, Danny, is it safe to eat wild rabbits? Yes, it's safe to eat wild rabbits. Just make sure you cook them all the way. I mean, it ain't no different than eating anything else. I mean, I eat squirrels and rabbits and everything else. I mean, it's not a problem.
Lori wants to know, how can you tell when your cantaloupe is ready to harvest?
Usually it will take on a yellowish tint to it. It won't be dark green like they are in the grocery store when they're not really ripe. You want it to be completely like a yellow, golden, orangish color, and you can harvest it then, or you can harvest it when you start seeing the whole bottom side of it start turning yellow.
Yeah, mimosa is it does have medicinal properties, but it's very invasive.
Very invasive. Yes.
They put off their seeds and they blow all over everywhere, and you can clean up all under them and there's nothing. And 15 feet away, here comes, when you ain't paying no attention, this little mimosa tree. Just saying, they all over the place.
Do tongue nuts, it's not spelled T-O-U-N-G-E, nuts.
T-U-N-G.
T-U-N-G, nuts. There used to be companies down here in the Deep South that they raised them in orchards down here, and they used them to make paint thinners and all kinds of oils and stuff like that out of them. They're very toxic. The nut is very toxic.
Yes, and in this area, oh my goodness, they are so out of hand.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody could ever get them under control, and I don't think we'll ever get them under control.
Do you cut back your blueberries, and if so, when? From Mama Tried Homestead. I do some blueberry pruning. I don't do a lot until they get to be really big trees. But the best time to do it is not long after they get through dropping their berries and you get through picking all the berries off of them. You can prune them back at that time, and it gives them a chance to come back out before the winter time and get froze back.
Miss Molly Smith said, would you make a blueberry book sometime? We hadn't thought about that kind of stuff.
I hadn't thought about anything like that. I got to think about it.
Because, I mean, a lot of times blueberries is one of the harder things for a lot of people. They would need a lot of information on. We'll have to think about that one. In Danny's downtime.
In my downtime, yeah. People's talking about what's the best time to eat rabbits, you know. I don't ever eat a rabbit in the summertime. Never, never, never in the summertime. Only after the first frost. It's kind of like squirrels. I don't eat squirrels until it's frosted at least one good time. And I don't eat rabbits until after it's frosted one good time. As a matter of fact, I like both of them to be in just in the dead of winter.
Okay, Mr. John said, have you ever had Kentucky coffee tree coffee? No.
No.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm game to try it. Coffee sounds good, even if it is from Kentucky. I didn't say that, Kentucky. Sorry. If you make a blueberry book, I will buy one. We got 3 or 4 people to buy a blueberry book.
Yeah.
So.
Question: can you air graft blueberries? Blueberries are propagated, not air graft. You cut the little tiny tops out of the blueberries and put the rooting hormone on them and keep them in like a little greenhouse effect to keep them warm, keep the moisture in there, and cut all the leaves, take all the leaves off except the very top 2, and sometimes you can cut them in half, and they usually will do good.
Yeah. So there's another one that a blueberry book. See, you gotta get busy.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be something.
We got so many blueberry trees here, and we still have blueberries right now just falling off on the ground. I mean,
they're about to go away.
They're about over with. Today we saw 4 deer standing in the blueberries.
I wish I told him he needed to set up the game camera. These deer are standing in the blue. Come on, stay on. All right. Let's see. There's another one said several said they'd love a blueberry book. We'll see what we can do. Blueberry crisp is my favorite. I love that. Now Danny's mom had a blueberry recipe. It's a no-bake blueberry pie. It makes 3.
Yeah.
Oh, it is delicious. And I think it's in my cookbook. But before you ask, I don't have any more. I'm out, and I hadn't reordered. I don't have time to deal with it right now.
Suzanne said, I've never trimmed my blueberries, and now they're 20+ years old and they're too tall. And
that's where his mom and dad.
My mom and dad's was that way. They were like 15 to 20 feet tall. They were like giant trees up there.
And Danny would be secretly clipping stuff off of them, and his daddy would be sitting looking through the window, and he says, "Son, what you doing with my blueberries?" Nothing. And so he learned we'd pull the truck up in the blueberries, pile it up, and go out the other way where his daddy couldn't see him out the window because they were just too thick.
Yeah, they were way too thick.
Danny, you may have to put that book together.
It's looking like it, ain't it?
They were. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying.
Oh.
Yeah, they would like it. So, I've never heard of Elliott blueberries. Have you?
That's just another variety. I'm sure that there's. I've heard of Elliott pecans, but not blueberries.
Oh.
Suzanne said she had to shake her blueberries last year. We've done that. We put tarps up underneath the trees like you do a mulberry and sit there and shake them.
Danny and I did at his mama's. We got so tired of picking all day till he said, tomorrow we're bringing a tarp. We'd shake them and we'd go inside.
Yeah, we'd go inside under the air conditioner and pick all the green ones out and the leaves and stuff out.
But we were selling them at that time. That was probably, 10 years ago, 10 years ago.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And we were picking sometimes 25 gallons a day.
Yeah.
And so just the 2 of us. So we learned right quick, but I didn't like that. I'd rather pick them off and not have the trash. Danny would have sat there and picked through them like crazy, but I was like, I'd rather just pick them off. Everybody's saying blueberry bush, please. Blueberry book.
Oh.
Let's see. Miss Lippy said her head is really pounding. You need to go take some.
Miss Lippy, go lay down, baby. Don't sit up here and keep doing that.
Something. You don't need to be looking at this rolling screen if you got a headache.
Chat. We got this. You go ahead.
Our other moderators, I think we've got Monkey Mama and
Prep for Eternity was in here.
Mimsy.
Mimsy's Garden.
Several. We got plenty. I think I don't know if I've seen.
Darlene Wright says, Danny, would you
Allison.
ever consider an olive tree? Yes,
We
I would.
had
Yeah, we
one.
used to have olive trees, but we moved off and left them. But
We had one, and it I don't think
it had olives on it.
it did.
Yeah.
But we never did anything.
We didn't
with
have
it.
enough of them to process them
5 or 6 olives.
because it takes a lot of olives is a long process. You don't just go pick them off a tree and eat them. You know, I mean, you got to pick them green and you got to go
Mark's
through a
here,
ton of
too.
process.
Yeah, Mark's here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allison may be painting. I don't know. She was in the
Yeah.
process of kitchen remodel.
Is huckleberry wild blueberries? No. We have wild blueberries here at Deepsouth Homestead, and we have tame blueberries.
We
here.
have a video somewhere where I show the wild huckleberries, the wild blueberries, and the tame blueberries all
Yeah.
in one video, so you can see the difference of each type of tree. Can't tell you where it's at and what it's titled, but it's something to do with berries.
Richard said the wild animals eat every apple on my tree. Any ideas to how to keep them away? Well, here at Deep South Homestead, we use the old trusty smoke pole to do that, and I just eradicate them one at a time.
But we've
And
had
plus,
probably,
we use live traps too, and then I catch them and then I eradicate them.
but we've had probably this year had more animal problems than we've had since you and I
Oh
have been
yeah,
married.
we have way more. Yeah, way
Last
more.
year at Pecan Grove now, new property,
Yeah.
we had a good bit
We had a-
because we weren't so sure. But both properties this year, it's like since they've
Yeah,
done the woods behind us,
they clear cut all the
everything's
woods.
come in, and you don't know what kind of animals you're gonna see.
Yeah.
Let's see where we at.
Oh, let's see here.
The huckleberries grow well, but aren't much more than 2 to 3 feet tall. Ours grow bigger than that here.
Allison said I'm inundated with hawks. Oh, that brings me to thing here. I was bush hogging in the field
Thank you, Allison.
yesterday, cutting the grass seeds off the tops of it, getting ready to make a video, and I kept noticing these hawks were following me on the tractor. And all of a sudden, I see one dip down in that big, deep grass and come up with a big old rat in their feet and fly off, land on a limb and kill it, and then leave with it. I guess they were taking it back to a nest with maybe some babies in it or something or other, but they were getting them rats in that field.
What is your canning channel called? I have here on Deep South Homestead. Look up just canning. I think I have a playlist of almost anything imaginable that we've canned in the playlist. And then on CRAZY Daze, it's CRAZY DAZES, CRAZY Daze. I have a canning playlist over there, and again, a lot in the playlist.
Let's see here. Monica says, do you need more than one fig tree to get fruit? No. Fig trees are self-pollinating. You do not need but just one tree.
But you do need to keep their roots covered.
Yeah, you definitely need to keep the roots covered really deep.
It's good. That's one thing that's good to mulch around in the wintertime. Where are we at? Danny, my wild blackberry bushes I've tied up are over 8 feet and just hanging with tons of green berries. It's going to be a huge harvest. Danny's in the high tunnel.
Boy, mine in the high tunnel over there. It's, Chris picked him one the other day. That thing was, oh my goodness, it was about 2 inches long and about, I don't know, yay big around. It was big around as a golf ball. He goes, oh my word. He said, how do you grow these berries so big? You know, and then Wanda, I think, got one.
I've eaten 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I'm talking big. The first one I got was bigger than any I know we've harvested in that high tunnel. I don't know how come they're getting so big, but oh man, they were delicious. And I got it right at the right time.
Oh man.
Angela said the hawks were getting her purple hull peas out of the ground the day after she planted them. They will. They'll dig them up.
The crows will, not the hawks.
Hawks? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
crows will dig them. And a hawk might. I mean, I don't know, but crows I know are notorious for doing it. And quail.
All right, I have a batch of colloidal silver, or made a batch of colloidal silver this evening. I have a huge aloe. Do you think it would make a good ointment? I don't know about combining the two, but I have a huge aloe that if somebody needed, oh man, I've got, it's gonna have to be taken down and I'm gonna have to make juice with it. I don't know. I mean, I really got a lot of aloe juice, don't I?
Yeah.
So, let's see. Yeah, Tambra says you'd have to mix it with a carrier oil.
Yeah, you would.
Usually, what is it, coconut oil? No. What oil?
Yeah, coconut oil. Most of them mix it with coconut oil.
No. What is the carrier oil that I used with doTERRA? My mind is a blank right now.
That's been too many years ago.
I don't buy up that kind of stuff now. I have a supply and I don't have
Hey, Alabama says, what's a good blackberry variety? Our favorite is Freedom Blackberry. That thing, you can't kill them. And if you dig them up and move them somewhere else and leave a piece of that root in the ground, you still got them. And they just, I got one right now, I bet you, that's 20 feet long and tall. It's done went up in the top of the high tunnel, growed all the way back down to the ground, and running and going again across the ground. I got them hanging all up in the trusses of the high tunnel, full of big old giant blackberries. I'm telling you, them things is like Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah. All right, I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah. Oh, so it's 9 o'clock.
I've been canning a lot, so that's where most of my time has been peeling pears because we have such a supply. We're putting them in the cooler, and I just take out what I need, and I can pears. Canned almost every day, pears or figs.
Yeah.
And peaches when we had them last week, but this week it's been pears and figs, and I did do tomatoes this week.
Yeah.
So.
God of Son, Jesus Christ saves too.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Can someone please remind me the kind of overalls Danny wears?
Roundhouse, American made.
Make sure you go to the roundhouse.com site. Don't order off Amazon, third parties and stuff. Go through Roundhouse itself. You get a better deal.
Yep.
And you know you're getting from them. Third party is always iffy. I've had people tell me that going through off sites, they got the wrong sizes, the wrong types, and everything.
We just go straight to the Roundhouse site.
Yeah.
You know, don't try to go. I used to go to stores and get them, but now we've learned it's just to order them straight from the company.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is 9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock, guys. We've had a long day. It is. We're getting tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know a lot of y'all are, because if you're on the East Coast, that's 10 o'clock already for you guys. So.
Bib and brace is what they call overalls in England.
Oh.
I've heard them called bib.
We call these bibs.
But I've not ever heard of the brace.
Yeah.
So what would be the brace?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the strange one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Yeah, our gardening is not going to be as big now.
Right.
We'll be having sporadic things, but when it gets 100+ degrees every day, we don't worry about trying to garden. But Danny said we're not going to be 100. Well, we might get up to it, but.
Well, actually, I will look at I have a way to look way into the future on the forecast, and believe it or not, toward the end of August, they have us back in the 60s in the morning. And that's unheard of here in the Deep South. And the high temps is only like 85.
Now the heat index will run it on up close to 100.
But
with our humidity. But for us to have August weather in the 60s and 80s is.
Well, I mean, from now till then, as a matter of fact, I went back and looked at my records. Our hottest morning temperature has not been over 76 degrees. Like right now, every morning we're getting up, we're between 72, 74 degrees. Somewhere in that in July and August, that is
usually we wake up to 85 to 90.
Yeah, we wake up in the 80s in the morning. But this year,
I think people up north, I mean, I hate to say this out
well,
loud, but I think they're getting our hot weather, and
It's
I don't
possible,
care.
but
don't send your cold weather down here.
But let me tell you something. All through the month of July, it shows rain for us the whole month, and that is something that we just don't hardly ever have.
Now, it should have rained the last 2 or 3 days here, according to the radars, but we got nothing.
Yeah, today it rained. I mean, it thundered and thundered. It shook the floor in the house. It thundered so much, but it never did rain here.
No rain.
No.
So, yeah, Nancy says we're getting your hot weather. Yeah. Y'all can have it, but just don't send the cold. We don't like real cold.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather have cold weather than I had hot weather. I can put on clothes and stay warm.
Yeah, but I don't like when it gets down below. I can handle to 20. When it gets any colder than that, don't even. I'm gonna be bundled up under a blanket with a fire going and some hot chocolate. So 79 Rock Shock says, I'm in Scotland, UK. It has been monsoon, but house in Turkey, etc. 48, etc. And then I don't know, 1 word or 2 words, a lot hotter than usual. In other words, they're extremely hot there.
Yeah, and but the monsoon means that they're having a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hot. 90s today in Ontario, Canada. See?
Yeah, y'all got that heat dome over you like that.
Pastor Scott says it feels like Deep South in New England.
Yeah.
We're
Don't know
used
how
to
you guys
it.
do it. We're used to it. I mean, we wake up, like right now, I'm looking at a monitor here. It says it's 78 degrees outside. Humidity is 92%. When I open the door, it feels just like when you open a door on an oven and the heat hits you in the face.
You've got something with moisture in there, and it's...
Yeah. Now the house is, we leave our house set at 76, which is what it's at right now. And the humidity in the house, it says, is 45%.
And see, most people up north, 45% is all they ever have. Their houses are drier than that.
Oh, when I was working in downtown New York out there on Long Island, just off of the White Plains, these people come out there hollering at me because it was 80 degrees outside and the humidity was 35%. And they said, dude, you better get out of the heat. You're going to have a heat stroke. I was like, dude, I wake up in the morning in the South worse than this. You know, I mean, y'all don't know what hot is. And they just could not comprehend how I could stay out there all day and work in that.
Yeah. I went out a few times today checking on stuff. And when I walked out the door, I'm like... Okay, do what you got to do and get back in. Because I usually, like I said, I weed eated early this morning. And then when I get through, I stay in and do canning and cooking and all that kind of stuff. And I was rearranging stuff in cabinets and all.
Big Gatlin says in southwest Mississippi, says it's raining pretty good now. And we're at 78. Allison says we're currently at 73 with 95% humidity.
See, she's getting some of our, but she lives... where
She's right
she gets
off
a
of
lot
Long
of
Island
humidity.
out there, yeah.
Okay, it's after 10 in South Georgia. Temps are 86 and feels like 95. Ooh,
Yep.
After 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Oh.
Guys, I hate to say it, but you hadn't seen all of it yet. Okay? I mean, I know that's hard to hear, but if everything goes like they're saying that it's going to go, and we go through this magnetic reversal and pole shifting and all that, they're saying the equator could move as far north as Kentucky. If that happens, the eastern seaboard has not seen heat yet. You just wait.
Yeah, it'll get a little warm.
It's going to get very hot.
Yeah, Tiny Steading says heat warnings for the next 3 days of 100+ temps. Then whatever humidity, just hike it over to 110. How hot did it? We've had heat indexes up to 100.
We stayed at the cabin on one of our hottest days.
I mean, this year, I didn't know.
Oh, this year?
111, 112.
We've been 112 heat index several times this year already.
Yeah.
We was 110 today. last year our cameras in our food plot picked up 135.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know how hot it actually gets sometimes, but last year was the absolute worst year for heat that I know of we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah. Pastor Scott said the dew point there is 75 degrees. That's pretty saturated.
All right.
Okay, we got to get off here, guys. We said the prayer at the beginning of the program, so we're not going to have a prayer at the end here.
Do you have a tip?
In lieu of everything that we saw this afternoon taking place with the president, or former president, should I say, we need to really stay in prayer for both of our presidents, because there is an agenda out there to take them both out, plus several other people. As a matter of fact, every week they have attempts on their life every week. It's just that today, it got really close today. But guys, look, don't get hung up on parties right now. There's some things, I told y'all last week something was going to happen before 7 days was up, and it did. Now, there's a few more things that's going to happen, and that's the reason I tell you, keep your faith built up. Don't put your eyes on man. Get your eyes off of Trump. Get your eyes off of Biden. Get your eyes off of parties, and focus on Christ, because we're going into a period of time like we ain't never lived through before. And the only way we're going to make it through these times is we're going to have to focus on the Lord right now, because He's the only way you're going to get through this. And make sure you try to grow as much of your own food as you can, because there's no sense in going to the cancer center to buy your food. And cancer center is what I call a grocery store. I call it the cancer center because that's where most of our cancer is coming from, is the food supply. So the grocery stores to me is like a cancer center. And I tell people to try to stay away from it if you can. Because there is an agenda underway to make as many people sick with different diseases as they can through the food system. So be very much aware of that, and don't be fooled by the word organic or any of that kind of stuff, because even organic vegetables out there have appeal put on them and other non-labeled things. If some of the organic foods come from another country, before they enter this country, they have harsh chemicals sprayed on them, and they don't have to tell you that. So I mean, we're working diligently right now, trying to get some stuff set up where maybe we can be a blessing to some other people, about food supplies and things like that. And guys, it's going to get tough here in the next. Let's just put it this way: there's a convention coming up on the 27th of this month. You can expect just about anything in the world to transpire before then. So get your eyes off of mankind, keep your eyes on the Lord, and stay prepared as much as you can. Be prepared for the grid to go down. Be prepared for the water systems to not work properly. Be prepared for your internet to not work properly. Be prepared for your phone systems to not work properly. AT&T and 3 others this past week had horrible problems going on with them. They were hacked into. Information was stolen from different places. People's lives were compromised. Guys, this is only the beginning. It's going to get worse. So just please remember what I told you. Keep a flashlight by your nightstand. You'll understand one day. Keep all your important papers in a place where you can grab them if you need them. You'll understand one day what I'm talking about. just prepare.
And because of this heat and stuff, now Danny mentioned this, and we may have some new people here that did not hear this last year, and we've always done this anyway. We have curtains that have blackout on them. You would not believe it keeps the house, what, 5 to 10 degrees cooler
or more.
Warmer, according to whether it's summer or fall.
Definitely do the blackout curtains.
Or you do blinds. Now at Deepsouth we have a lot of blinds, and then we have the curtains with the blackout. Makes a huge difference because you can have that curtain over the window and turn and move it and feel the heat.
Yeah.
It protects.
Yeah, the duct tape, don't forget that. Cash, don't keep big bills. Don't keep anything over a 20. Nothing larger than a $20 bill. Because we went through Hurricane Katrina, Wanda and I can both tell you, don't ever keep anything over a $20 bill. Stay $20, 10s, 5s, and 1s.
Well, I mean, you can have them if you want them for buying like larger purchases to count out. But if you're going to be going somewhere to buy something that's going to cost you $15, don't throw out $100.
Right.
Because you might or might not get change. You just paid $100 for 15.
Yeah.
Those
of you who invested in the blackout curtains back when I told you to, I think you probably appreciate them now. I know we do. Our electric bill is very minimal because of the blackout curtains we have.
That helps tremendously.
Yeah.
And in the wintertime, when it gets so cold, because let's flip this a minute, because it's going to get cold. And if you don't have power and you have to stay warm, flannel sheets, or not flannel, fleece.
Fleece.
Well, both would work.
Either one. Flannel or fleece. Both of them will work.
Buy you at least one set for each bed that you have in your house, because in the wintertime, we love the fleece sheets. I have 2 or 3 sets of fleece and a couple of sets of flannel. And you don't have to have so much heat when you have something like that. And remember the hot water bottles. I bought us several hot water bottles, have them stashed up. Just in case there's no power, you need to know how to stay warm if you don't have electricity. Because some of you don't have a wood heater. We do. But, I'm saying some of you don't.
Chikoy wants to know, is it too late to put up a greenhouse? No, you can put up a greenhouse anytime.
Yeah. All right, so are we?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to sleep on that.
Okay, we got to get off here, guys. I hear it thundering outside anyway. It might be going to rain.
And go back and check the beginning out for the prayer, because we did it kind of
reverse
tonight because of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And y'all be praying for our country, for our leaders, and for the families of those that were lost today.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything else.
Well,
Miss Lippy, she needs our prayers, and she is looking at surgery on her hand probably in about a week. So
just be prepared. Don't freak out. Remember, I did a video called "Don't Freak Out." Here, be calm, stay calm, because you're going to see some crazy things happening in the next few weeks. So, just remember, keep your eyes on the Lord. Thank you, guys, from Deepsouth Homestead.